Hi, welcome back to another Onkruid video, welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors video. We haven't played with the Sentinel yet, I believe, since this new release, or yeah, for a while at least, because his prestige level is still level 1. So let's look at what we can do with this little fella right here. I will go for a full type of projectile, maybe some swings in there, and I also love to blast in my own pants sometimes. That's what we're gonna do today. The final map, the Dungeon of Despair, with all 4 curses active. And this is gonna be the last map we need to do this on before we advance to even higher curse levels and even more difficulty spikes, which is something I am very much open for, because for now I haven't encountered that many difficulty problems. The only problem I have encountered so far is just me getting one shot after a while all the time. But what is that little bird sound? Is that part of this map? I guess it is. I haven't heard the soundtrack of this map that often. They did add some nice new sounds to the game and some nice new soundtracks as well for the new maps. I definitely noticed that the sound design got a bit of an upgrade, and the game in general also got a bit of an upgrade as well, of course. Truly one of the most successful early accesses I have ever been a part of, or I have ever heard of, I think. I haven't heard any complaints at all, really, at least not from my friend group, not online, because I've been watching a lot of Soulstone Survivors content as well. Try to get my name out there a bit by spending some time commenting on those videos too. The suction bomb and the bomb barrage are both things we already had in our bomb build. I guess that was like the first video in the early access, I think. But I think I do love the suction bomb because it is kind of like a more active void. So if that lands on enemies, I believe it will just suck them into the middle. Well, now it's just strong enough to completely one-shot them, to demolish them, so we can't really see it. But either way, I think that's going to be helpful. Banish this one. Yeah, let's go for the area effect first. I want to have some potency in killing the enemies first before I go into the more passive upgrades of the magnetic ones. It's not going to be an endless run today. I think I'm going to save the endless runs for when I want to put out an edited Soulstone Survivors video, because that way I can warrant recording like 40 minutes and trimming it down into 20 minutes or something like that, which is not always easy because I like to ramble. I don't shut up all that often. Definitely something I should do more in this YouTube journey. I want to try the ballista though. I have heard good things about it from my buddy Destroyer. Here he is right there. And I want to see what it does. Spread shot and suction bomb. The multicast chance. Sure, we're going for the ballista and we're going for frontal abilities. And that's the main gist of this build. Even though our previous video was also all about frontal abilities and stuff. But I digress and I don't mind and I don't care. You guys are still watching. You guys are still clinging to your screen with your last final breath. Do these ballistas stay up forever if they don't die? Or can they even die? It doesn't seem like... Oh no, they have a certain time that they stay alive. Alright, sad. I thought we could really make like an entire army. The bladed chakram is something new as well. Applying rot, which can spread to other targets. Let's see it. There we go. It's like the same weapon that one of the bosses uses, I think. So, awesome. I think that's going to be a valid addition to our kit as well. Let's go for the magnetic now, because we still want to collect a bit more experience points and have it be more effective either way. How have you guys been doing? I've been doing absolutely a-okay. I want something a bit better. Sure. When we apply poison, there's a chance of applying doom. We love that. Well, now we still need some abilities that could potentially apply poison, I guess, but either way. So, talking about abilities that can apply poison. Awesome. Really fits into our build quite nicely. It's Thursday today. This evening, after going to work, I actually have another party planned. I'm not that big of an outgoing person normally, so it's quite the coincidence that now it happens twice in a row so shortly after one another, because as you all know, of course, I just recently this weekend went to Skin on Skin in Ampère in Antwerp, and it was a blast. I even made a little YouTube short about it. If you haven't seen that already, you can definitely go check that out. Today it's closer to home. It's in Leuven, right here in the student city, well, in the student city where I live near. Napalm Blast is also frontal, so I think I want to go for that, because Poison Cloud is not frontal, but I do love my poison abilities for now. Let's go for Napalm Blast, because we haven't used that before. I guess we also haven't used Poison Cloud before for that matter, but I wanted to see what Napalm Blast is all about. Where is it? Where is the ability? It's coming up right there. Oh, alright. So it's a nice cone of fire, which is, I think, also a Johnny Cash song, if I'm not mistaken. It's a nice cone of fire in front of us. Seems to be a-okay. Seems to provide some nice AoE damage, some nice burning effects. Let's go for the Leviathan for the raw damage upgrade. But tonight, I'm going to Roomba here in Leuven. A club closer to home, as I just mentioned. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's hard techno, like really hard techno, industrial techno, dark techno. It's gonna be a heavy party, to say the least. Before that, we're gonna eat some spaghetti with a bunch of friends, so that's nice. Increased quantity of the ballistas, thank you very much. I would love that. And it's just gonna be an enjoyable evening. I hope I'm gonna be able to stay awake. I feel like the last time, the energy drink we had in the car on the way there really helped me out, so maybe I'll go for that again. But I'm not an advocate for drinking too many energy drinks. Don't just drink it regularly, because I think it's very bad for your health and especially for your heart. But when you need to stay awake, you need to stay awake, you know. And before going out, drinking coffee is not always the best approach in my opinion. Alright, so nice things to look ahead to. Although I would also love to just spend an evening inside and record just like 50 Soulstone Survivors videos, of course, because I still want to reach that 100 episode mark. It feels great to have this time-bound, realistic, concrete goal. It's something we even advise people to have in therapy. We advise them to have, there's this acronym that is like realistic, time-bound, achievable, but I can't find the acronym in the back of my mind. Maybe it will come up later in the video. I'll try to remember it a bit more, but either way, it's cognitive behavioral therapy speech or cognitive behavioral therapy kind of antics to have those kinds of very concrete, very specific goals and have your patients think about those in their life, because it's quite important to work towards something, but the goals shouldn't be too steep. They should be achievable. I think it's better not setting goals than setting goals that you know you're never going to achieve. And it's also very important in studying, of course. You can't just be like, yeah, on this day this is exactly what I did throughout my study career, because I was ass at setting goals, by the way. So don't practice do, what is it? Do as I say, don't, it's something like that. Do as I say, don't say as I do, or something crazy like that. There's some expression like that. Either way, have specific goals, have achievable goals. Not like I'm gonna study that entire course this day. No, I'm gonna study chapter 2 and 3 on this single day. And that is gonna help you out a whole lot in the long run. It's gonna make you feel better, and it's also gonna help you have a nice little schedule in your studying, which is of course important. And another important thing in studying, which I also realized the benefits of throughout my career, is switch up the study material and the study methods you use. Don't, for example, always just look at the course material and read the text, but try to look up a video on the topic as well. And especially do that after you have been, for example, studying vicious strikes, after you have been studying the same material in the same manner for hours on end. Try to switch it up a little bit. It's very important for your brain to learn, for example, by reading, which will activate specific areas in your brain. For example, also probably the temporal lobe is going to be important in that. And then, excuse me, except for reading, there are of course other modalities and other ways of studying that can also bring you new knowledge about subjects. Like, for example, listening to someone talk about it. Visual learning is also very important, and those are all methods that activate separate areas in the brain. And the best studying method is one that activates those separate areas in the brain and stores the material in multiple different forms. That's how you will really remember it in the best manner possible. So that's a little free study tip right here by your boy Onkruid. Your boy Onkruid, who graduated magna cum laude as a clinical psychologist, so I do know a little bit what I'm talking about. I'm also very interested in studying and learning, because I find it interesting to help people in that front. I might pick up some study coaching jobs at my new workplace as well. I think it's most of the time something more for other graduates, for people that studied other things than just clinical psychology, but I definitely want to get into that and see if it's something I can contribute to as well in our center, because I find it important that everybody has the best chance of completing their higher education if they desperately want to. Not that everyone needs to complete a higher education, as I talked about a couple of videos ago while we were still playing the demo version of this game. I really appreciate all the hard workers, the people that bake bread, the people that are picking up the garbage, the people that are cleaners, all those people. I value them equally, maybe even more than people with a university degree. Because without those people, those hard manual labor workers, also builders and stuff, for example, we would be nowhere in the world. We would absolutely be nowhere. I don't know how to unclog my toilet, for example. I need a plumber for that. And without that plumber, I would be just shitting in a puddle in the side of the road instead of in my own home, in the comforts of my own four walls. My home exists out of more than four walls, luckily. But you get what I mean. You get the general gist of things. I use language and you guys process it and then get what I'm saying, which is the beauty of this whole YouTube endeavor right here. I can ramble on about whatever I want and you guys will understand. Hopefully though, because my pronunciation is not always the best and I produce a lot of saliva. You like that, huh? You like that? I don't like that. I've never gotten into ASMR things on YouTube, unless if it's like ASMR library sounds or coffee shop sounds. I used to put that on while I was studying sometimes, but like the real people like whispering into the microphone and maybe like having those microphones where both sides are laced with ears, or there are ears on both sides and you can talk into them and you really hear it inside the area of your headphone that is applicable to the ear as well. No, not for me. Or people that have like these little candy wrappers that they fumble with in front of the microphone. I think I would rather insert a 10-inch long needle into my ear, straight into my cochlea, and pierce everything in there just instead of listening to ASMR. But you do you, champ. If you get off on that shit, whatever floats your boat, you know? I'm not judging. This is a a free of judgment channel here on YouTube. Because I am, of course, a client-centered caregiver. So I am accepting towards every single topic that comes up and towards every single person. That doesn't mean that I necessarily approve of everything that a client tells me, but I am accepting. I am allowing it to exist in our session. There's a big difference. For example, working with someone who is... I was gonna say suffering from pedophilia, but I don't think that's the correct word, but that's a whole nother discussion. Someone that is indulging in pedophilia, if you would call it that way, if that sounds any better, although I don't think it is. Someone that is coming to me because of their feelings of pedophilia. They feel sexually attracted to people that are younger than the law actually allows you to be sexually attracted to. I have to be accepting towards those feelings, but I would never be... what was the word I used previously? Accepting, but I would never approve of such a thing. And I would never completely understand, but I have to accept. And I have to try to understand from their point of view. Empathy, another core value. All those things melt together in this giant client-centered, Rogers-inspired melting pot that I want to produce in my therapeutic sessions in the future though, because right now I don't have any therapeutic trajectories started up on my own, although it is coming. It's coming, you can be sure about that, and that is gonna fill up the anecdote bank, the anecdote tank to its brim probably. Considering, well, with the idea in the back of my mind that I'm of course always gonna keep it anonymous. I'm never gonna reveal what specific client I'm talking about, but I am gonna share some things that happen in my therapeutic sessions, that's for sure, because I think that it makes for great learning content for other people that are wondering how does all this mental health stuff work. And I want this channel to still be gaming focused, but also educational. My channel is a melting pot in and of itself, and that's exactly how I like it. And that's exactly how you like it as well. One of you, 168 subscribers by now, which is just an amazing number, and it has been increasing steadily over the last few months. I feel like it was just yesterday where I was happy that I reached 100 subscribers, and now bam, all of a sudden we're almost at 200 to be realistic. I spend most of the time, I spend a lot of time marketing now as well, and that really helps out. Although it's a hard job. I would love to just spend all of the time that I spent on this YouTube journey just recording videos. Writing scripts, recording videos, editing, just putting out content, but sadly that is only half of the battle that you have to fight if you really want to make it big. Am I ever gonna make it big? I don't know. Am I gonna make it mediocrely big? I think so. At least I'm working towards it. I already feel like I'm quite big. You know, 168 people, that's nothing to sneeze at. And if you are sneezing, go see a doctor, by the way. Eliminate a total of 20,000 enemies. Purity increases all damage caused by 50%. This bonus is reduced by 5% for each different type of negative effect on the target. So we deal a bunch more damage unless if we have things like slows and burns on there. So this is basically a new rune that we can choose in the next episode if we want to, for a build where we rely on purely physical damage, probably, and we don't want to apply debuffs at all. That's cool. That's really cool. There we go. All maps completed in the first cursed level, headed for level 2. And we will definitely play around with this little rune right here that we just got. Where is it? Where is it? Right here, Purity. Let's see what it has to offer in the next episode. It only costs 2 runic power. I'm excited to try it. I presume these guys are gonna cost 3 runic power, right? Alright, either way, thank you so much. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this 7th episode already. We're headed to 100, baby. Bye-bye.